Where the yuck are we?
Oh, I thought I could hear something for a second. Like,
Yeah, no, I turned on the audio by accident. Never mind. You didn't hear anything. There's nothing. We're normal. We're quality production.
I'm assuming that's like a reference to like solar opposites or something.
No, that's from Zim. Like, whenever he gets like found out or something, he just starts yelling like, "I'm normal! I'm normal!" I love that so much. I love Zim. He's such a goober. He's so incredibly obvious. That's what I love about him.
Yeah. I've watched like a few episodes. I think we talked about this before. Like probably on this like recording too.
Who knows?
In these videos. But like I've watched a few episodes as a kid and it scared me because I was like way too young for it.
Yeah.
So I didn't watch it again, and then I watched like Into the Florpus with you. And that was fun. I think it was actually my first visit, like when I went to go see you.
Yeah, we watched Florpus together. That was so much fun. I love that movie.
Yeah. Man. Yeah. You were still living with your parents at that time. Wild.
Yeah, that's crazy. A lot of stuff has changed in the past couple of years. It's insane.
Yeah, that was 6 years ago.
Oh my god.
Actually, maybe it's closer. It was like in, when was it? Like in February or January or something? March? I don't remember.
Oh.
It was March. It was like sometime in like early 2020 before everything started hitting the fan.
Yeah. Oh my god. Before the whole thing and everybody lost track of time. Yay, I'm not longer the only one.
Yeah, just with that, it was right on the cusp of like COVID. Because like I remember like having to like fill out papers saying like, have you ever been in China for the last like 2 weeks? Like around the airport. And I saw like I saw like several groups of like Asian people all wearing masks and no one else was. Insane.
Crazy, man. So much like that is just like something I want to point out. Like when I was in that period of my life, I felt like, oh, things kind of suck. Like, things weren't great. Things still aren't great, but they're improving at least, and I'm very happy to say that. But also, just, I was stuck in such a weird period of my life where there was a lot going on, but simultaneously very little going on, and it's just, like, it goes to show just how easily things can change in just a couple of years. Just how you can be in a completely unexpected place with unexpected people just somewhere, you know? And I don't know, I think the point that I'm trying to make here is, hey, if you feel like you're stuck in a place right now or that nothing's going to change, there's a lot that can happen in just a few years, and it can sometimes go very slowly, bless you, and sometimes it can go very quickly. And that's a weird but cool thing, I think.
Yeah. And like, also like, because I think it's very easy to get into like doomerism shit and all that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But like, you don't know what's gonna happen in the future, so yeah, bad things can happen, and they most certainly will. But good things can also happen, and they most certainly will.
Absolutely. It's a scary certainty. Good things will happen, and you deserve them. Ooh, get scared.
Mark, that's like Mark and I met by complete chance. Like just because I looked up like Sonic Boom drawings, and he made like a silly like Knuckles comic, where he looked like Popeye.
Yeah, and that's because somebody else requested that, and I was like, whatever. I kind of wanted to. It wasn't that like negative. It was more in the sense of that I was doing a lot of requests on DeviantArt at the time because I was just really trying to like connect with people and trying to make friends and stuff. And I thought like, oh, if I make free art for people, then maybe they'll like me or something. And also, it was just a nice way for me to just practice and draw some stuff, get suggestions from people when I didn't know what to draw. So it really worked out in a lot of different ways. It wasn't all sad and doom and gloom. It more so, yeah.
But yeah, that's, you know, this is how like wild it can get. Like, something you made when we were both in high school, I think. Actually, when did Sonic Boom come out? 2014?
Oh, I think so. Sonic Boom? Okay, so when that game came out, I was in high school. I remember exactly where I was. So I've always been like a huge Sonic fan. And I remember there was going to be like this big presentation, like, oh, this is the future of Sonic the Hedgehog. And there was this school, like, dance thing happening. What do you call it? What do you call one of those things?
I think school dance or prom.
Like a prom, pretty much a prom. And I was just on my phone because I didn't want to talk to anyone there. I was there with my friends. Like, it was actually pretty funny because we all showed up in Santa Claus suits. Because one of us had the bright idea to do that. And I was like, whatever, they can't hate me any more than they already do. So I just... High school is fun. It only gets better after that, I promise.
Yeah, I mean, I dropped out before like I even like hit my senior year. Before I had my like actually, I think I dropped out in my junior year, which is like when you're like I dropped out when I was 16.
I see. Well,
but
good
like
for you.
third
Lucky
year
you.
of high school. But within the third year of the high school, like around there.
Yeah.
Because they told me that like, oh yeah, from that, because I basically got all my like main courses done for in the first 2 years, and they're like, oh yeah, basically you just do electives from now on into like for college. And I was like, I don't want to go to college, so I dropped out.
Well, that was an easy decision. But just to finish my Sonic story, what happened was that I was watching that presentation on my phone, and I was looking at that shit, and they showed a clip of the cartoon, I think, and also of the video game, and I just remember thinking like, what am I fucking looking at? What is this garbage? And you know, the show turned out pretty good, like it was okay. When I saw the designs, I was like, this just seems like very strangely like edited versions of characters I already know. It just like with meaningless changes that don't add anything. Like, what is this? And then they showed the game and it was like Skrillex music in the background, and it just looked like garbage. And it turned out to be garbage. I guess I have a good sense for garbage. It was an interesting prom night, I can tell you that much.
Yeah, I will say some of the concept art for like Sonic the Hedgehog would like look way different. I feel like it probably would have been better if it was I don't know. I feel like maybe it would have been better if it looked closer to concept art, just because it was just a very interesting, unique take instead of just kind of like Sonic, but now with the handkerchief.
Yeah. The thing is, like, we got a lot more details in recent years about the development of Sonic Boom. It's also amazing that we somehow brought it back to Sonic. Hey, we did it. The conversation has been saved. We always do this.
Yeah.
It's really funny. I mean, I love it. Like, that's not a complaint.
Right.
I'm so glad we can talk about Sonic the Flipping Hedgehog.
Yeah, and we're not. We'll get around to Shadow Generations eventually.
eventually. God,
anyway, go on. What you were saying.
The concept art for Sonic Boom, like, is really interesting because at first they were gonna do a wildly different take, and there's gonna be like actual time travel and stuff going on, like a lot more elaborate than in the final game. There's gonna be like a younger Robotnik that they met. It was gonna be like very differently stylized Sonic the Hedgehog characters. Very cool. But Sega, like, at first they asked them to just go nuts and change it up and do something fully original, and then over time they just started asking it to make it closer to like regular Sonic, and that became the exact problem that I was mentioning. Like, it just feels like Sonic, but slightly tweaked for no reason. It's because it is. They just brought it closer and closer to the actual like normal Sonic. Also, I love this little gag here where you have to like shoot the guy who keeps pulling the lever. Hehe.
Violence, yeah. But like I think I've said this before, but I think a big problem with like a lot of Sonic material is just how indecisive they are. Most because like they'll go in one direction like during production, and then corporate will probably come in and like say, "Oh, actually do it like this now," and they have to scramble to like do it this way, and even though that way is worse. I think that something happened like that with the I know something like that happened with what was it? Unleashed. That was the game. Because they were having that game, and then like corporate came in at one point. I think it was just like a normal like standard Sonic game for a while, and then corporate came in and said like, "Hey, God of War is really popular. Do a mechanic like that with like the chain whips and stuff." And that's where you get the warehouse.
I don't remember that.
I think it was that. Like, I don't know. I saw it from like someone else's video like years ago, so maybe that was incorrect, but that's what I've heard.
I see. That will be interesting. I know that sort of such a thing has happened, but not from the directive side, like the... What am I saying? Not like the CEOs being like, hey, you gotta put this in the game, but more so just the developers being like, hey, kids really like shooters, or they really like Shadow, we should bring him back, or like, we should put shooting mechanics in Sonic Adventure, because that seems to be popular right now. Like, there is some tales of that happening, and you know, like, that's fine, it comes from the devs themselves, and whether it was a good idea to actually go with that kind of trend, I don't know. I mean, I guess it got us Shadow Generations in the end, that they brought back Shadow, that they didn't just kill him at Sonic Adventure 2 like they originally planned. But, yeah, it's just interesting how those things go. You never quite know, like, who is exactly at the wheel of certain decisions. Sometimes we may never know.
Yeah, I do appreciate, like, in more recent games, like Frontiers, and I believe also Shadow Generations. I have not played it. I've heard good things, though.
Yes.
Is that... Like, I think with Ian Flynn, like, taking hold of, like, writing and, like, also probably some other things, of course, is that they're kind of more just aware that nothing can kill Sonic at this point. They have a very loyal fan base and just like kind of like going for stuff that works best within the kind of stories and characters that people really love. Instead of trying to always like trend chase, I guess, because they know like Sonic's gonna stay. That's my interpretation. I could be completely wrong.
Yeah, no, it does feel like that. Like they're just no longer afraid of being themselves. And that's wonderful. Like, it feels more sincere instead of just trying to constantly poke fun at itself, you know? Like, it's really trying to harness that magic again. Like, that made Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 so fun, like, with the stories and all that, like, the writing.
I think...
That doesn't just constantly reference itself or just tries to be over-the-top funny. It's more so just trying to be cool and fun and have interesting stories to tell.
Yeah, I think, yeah, I think, like, you know, during the mid-2000s and, like, a little early 2010s, is when people mock Sonic for, like, oh, it's trying to take itself seriously and so silly and stupid and all that stuff.
Yes.
And, like, yeah, and maybe so. But the thing is, like, you should not be trying to cater to those people because no matter what you do, they're gonna think it's stupid. You, like, cater to people that actually like your shit.
Yeah, indeed. Though for a while, it did work. Like, when they first started out with Sonic Colors, there were some fans, like, grumbling, but most of all, people were just like, oh, this is just a breath of fresh air, because the stories that took themselves seriously just didn't work out, and finally we're getting something silly and fun, and we can just focus more on the gameplay and all that. And then everything that happened after Colors, well, yeah.
Personally, I like the stories that take itself, like, way too seriously, because it's really funny.
Yeah, but not intentionally, you know? Like, and that's kind of a problem.
Yes, okay, yeah, but, like, if you take it seriously, then you have good drama, and, like, you enjoy the drama and, like, doing the characters and all that. If you don't, then it's really funny. Like, if you just don't have, like, but if you have, like, bad comedy, it's just, like, worthless.
Right, I get what you mean.
But yeah, I don't know. I remember, like, Sonic Colors being, like, the big hot game for a while. And I tried playing it, and, like, the thing that immediately popped up to me, like, I don't know, 13-year-old little me, was just thinking, wow, the writing here sucks. The jokes are not funny.
Yeah, looking back, it was not great. It's still better than, like, all the stories that were written for Modern Sonic After by the same writers. But it was not good, that's for sure. It's a bummer, though. I really do still like Sonic Colors a lot. It's a fun-ass game.
Do you think Rayman's offended that we keep talking about, like, another platformer while he's here?
I think there's probably overlap, you know, in the cartoony platformer demographic. There's bound to be a bunch of Sonic fans in the chat. Hey chat, how's it going?
I wasn't saying Rayman fans. I said like Rayman himself. Do you think he feels jealous?
Oh,
like, we're
right. No, Rayman's a supportive guy. I think if Sonic and Rayman met, Rayman would be like, hell yeah, man, you do you.
Rayman's polyamorous.
That's... I mean, it's not what I said, but like, sure.
You did not answer the question I had. Like, do you think Rayman's jealous of us talking about other platformers? And like, so I was like, okay, I have to take it my own way then.
Okay, well, I didn't know you were implying it like that.
Well, that's your own problem.
How dare you try to be subtle at an autistic person? That was your mistake.
How dare you say sarcasm in front of an autistic person?
God.
Okay, anyway, we were not planning on talking about this, but like, with the... Fuck, I forgot that I had a good segue. Anyway, we have cartoons we're making. That's my segue.
Right. Speaking of autism, we write our own stories and characters. They live inside our heads.
Yeah.
That's literally autism. That's not purely an autism thing. I'm just joking.
Yeah. Well, I also mean that's also literally like the plot of like my cartoon that I'm making. It's Mark, do you want to go on? Because more people are going to be familiar with like Sam Hicks, and it's also your channel, so you want to talk about it first?
Yeah, sure. Things are moving along. I was actually thinking of, oh my god, I'm glad I thought of this. I wanted to do like a little like devlog, I guess, where I just over time, well, I'm gonna not like releasing it all at once, but hold on. Collecting my thoughts. I was going to like record little devlogs every week or so, like how the progress is going on the new Sam Hex, and then bundle that and then release it like when it's all done as a little behind the scenes sort of video. Because things have been moving along. Like I've just finished like 2 minutes of storyboarding in one day, and that's so cool. And I recorded all the scratch audio already, and I'm designing characters right now. I'm designing a big chicken wizard guy with a plague doctor mask, and he looks pretty fun. And it's happening, and I'm still thinking about like who to ask for voices and whatnot. But it's moving along, and I'm so happy about it. And no spoilers yet.
Yeah, cool. I can give like a little bit of spoilers on my end. I'm currently writing a pilot. I hope that's kind of going well. I'm writing like the script and all that stuff. Right now, I think I don't know. I was kind of going for like 22 minutes, but maybe that's like too long a runtime or something. I don't know, because it's just kind of right. I'm getting ahead of myself. Oh my god!
Holy shit! That was disgusting. Well done.
That was a new one. Okay.
Oh my god.
I need to stop drinking soda when we like do these.
Maybe.
Anyway, so like the plot of my little cartoon that I'm hoping to make is it's called Parts of Penelope or Parts of Piper. I'm debating on the main character's name. Still, it has to start with a P. Just because of like alliteration. Anyway, it's about this 20-something-year-old woman who is autistic and like has to learns about this concept called IFS. We've talked about it, like a few times in this series before. Just watch any other video. Or look it up and not explain it further. And so because of that, she traverses into her head, and she has to like talk to the various parts about herself and like figure out what the arguments are happening, or discussions, or debates, or something. Oh yeah, what's going on here?
Yeah, just a quick interruption. This is an Easter egg where they just pose like the enemies from Rayman 2, like Razorbeard and all the other guys. It's just a well-hidden Easter egg where you can find them like doing the painting of the Last Supper, like those poses.
Yeah, I was thinking
Razorbeard is Jesus. Anywho.
Anyway, so like with where was I? I was talking about
Parts of Penelope or Piper, and she is autistic and she has to.
Right. Okay, so she has to learn about the various other parts of herself, and she has to like communicate with them and like figure out what they're arguing about, what's the issue, and all that stuff when she's like at a roadblock. And in doing that, she has to learn to like balance out these like various like different argumentative parts. So you can put up like the character sheets if you want, like not put up the character sheets now. Woo, look at them.
Look at that. Send me that later.
Yeah, they're not finalized, obviously. Like Penelope's name is like Phoebe and hers, and also designs are not finalized. But like generally speaking, the idea is, you know, these parts are meant to encompass like a certain sector of Penelope's personality, or like a part of her that like wants her to go one direction, and then one part wants to go in the other. Like on one hand, and on the other, kind of that embodiment.
Right, and what is this pilot about specifically? Like, what dangers does she encounter?
Alright, so she goes to work, and because she's autistic, she gets overstimulated, because of all this stuff, and she puts a lot of pressure on herself, because to just be, like, why can't you just work like everyone else can? Like, why is it so difficult for you? And she brings it up to her therapist, and her therapist says, like, brings up the concept of, like, IFS, and so she goes home, tries to do that, and she meets the various parts. That's like just been the introduction for the rest of the series. And in doing so, they have to come down to this like weird, shadowy, goopy part that's like causing all these like insecurities and problems.
Alright, interesting.
Like, so what they think. I can go into more if people care about spoilers. I mean, I don't, but like, I don't know.
I mean, it sounds like a fine plot synopsis so far.
Yeah. So yeah.
I like this little boss here.
Cool. And so recently, I've actually been working on I commissioned someone that will help me work on the Power Cynical video, links, with making themes, and I did a bit of a trial run with Patch. Patchwork is this very comfortable. It's meant to be the embodiment of comfort. He is fun. He's silly. He's a distraction. He's a warm blanket. He can actually turn his arms into blankets. That's not
cute. Nice.
Yeah, he's meant to he's meant to shield Penelope from all the hardships of the world, and that's usually sometimes good, sometimes bad, depends on the circumstance, of course. And so I commissioned a theme that's about 30 seconds, and a few days ago, and we finally got a finalized version of it, and you can play that now.
Yeah.
There you go.
You know what? Since this episode's almost over, I think I'm just gonna play it during the credits so people can listen to it.
Oh, yeah.
Or well, not credits, little outro bits.
No, I know. We got it, dear.
Okay, talkie.
Alright. Well, play us off.
Play us off. Hold on 1 second. Gaming. See you next time.